It probably doesn't come as a surprise to many people that the old model of training and forming pastors has proved to be unsustainable. Today's demographic and economic realities require a significant overhaul of the approach to delivering theological education.
The Luther House of Study through Sioux Falls Seminary is pioneering a revolutionary approach to delivering a sound theological education for people called to congregational ministry. This new approach is called the Kairos Project.
It's an innovative way of delivering an accredited Master's of Divinity degree that is affordable, accessible, and relevant. While delivering the same traditional degree pastors have received for generations, the Kairos Project does it in a way that meets the students' needs while greatly reducing the economic and lifestyle burdens of the older approaches.
The Kairos Project is centered around outcomes, recognizing that an accredited Master's of Divinity degree is primarily vocational. In other words, the emphasis is on forming pastors by equipping them with the necessary education, tools, and training to serve as sound pastors in Lutheran pulpits. So, how does it work?
To earn a Master's of Divinity degree, you need to demonstrate proficiency in 9 outcomes by completing a master assignment in each outcome. We give the students the tools and resources to learn what they need to be proficient in each outcome.
Think of it this way. Each outcome is an empty cup. The student starts with 9 empty cups. Well, the cup can be filled using a faucet, a hose, or a ladle, scooping water from a tub. When each cup is filled, the student does the master assignment to demonstrate they have a full cup. Now, in the Kairos approach, the faucet, hose, and ladle can be traditional classes, books, online resources, and even prior learning, whatever fits the context and learning style of each student.
Traditionally, students wanting a theological education were often required to uproot their lives and families. No longer is this necessary.
With the availability of online classrooms and other such resources, students can stay in their current setting while they receive their education. This allows people who are tied to a ranch or farm, for example, but are being called to ordained ministry to obtain a traditional Lutheran theological education, all while living at home. That means whether you live on a ranch or a farm, in a suburb or a city, theological education through the Kairos Project meets you where you are.
At first glance, this approach might seem too isolated and independent. We all know pastoral formation happens in communities and not in isolation. Therefore, Luther House is very intentional about building relationships with each student and supporting them throughout this process.
In fact, Luther House students have much more access to and interaction with a broad support network than in a traditional model of theological education. This starts with a mentor team that's unique to each student. The mentor team consists of a Luther House faculty mentor, a professional ministry mentor, and a personal mentor. These 3 people have equal voice in assessing the assignments submitted by the students.
Additionally, students have regular conversation with all 3 of their mentors individually as they move through the process. When the students choose to take a formal class from Sioux Falls Seminary, the faculty person of record assesses the student's work, and the student checks in with the mentor team to talk about what the student is learning.
Students also participate in a weekly colleague group with other Luther House students. This group is intended to address each person holistically. It offers an avenue for students to engage in theological conversation and to talk about how their ministry experiences are impacting their personal lives and relationships. It also models the benefits and importance of maintaining the practice of participating in colleague groups after graduation.
One of the distinctive requirements of the Kairos Project is that the student needs to be in a ministry context while they're being educated.
This can range from volunteering as a Sunday school teacher to serving as a pastor in training in a congregation. Recognizing that the life and ministry experiences each student brings into the Kairos Project are unique, Luther House works with the students, congregations, and denominational officials to determine when a student is ready to be placed in a congregation and at what capacity the student is prepared to serve.
One of the most significant changes to this model of theological education is the cost structure. How so?
Instead of charging a set amount per classroom credit, which is how most educational models work, students pay $300 per month to Sioux Falls Seminary year-round. In return for that subscription fee, students can take every class offered by Sioux Falls Seminary at no additional cost. Or they may choose to work through their coursework more independently by reading books and articles and accessing other resources outside of a formal classroom.
This subscription fee approach means that students no longer have to incur significant debt in order to get an accredited Master's of Divinity degree, which in turn means when students have graduated and are ready to be ordained, they will not be constrained by concerns about paying off large student loans.
For more information about the Kairos Project Masters of Divinity, visit lutherhouseofstudy.org and click on the Kairos page, or contact us at sstenson@augie.edu.